We are on the air, Pops. What time is it?
It's Chomp time.
It is Chomp time. Welcome one, welcome all. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time podcast. This is episode 4, which I have dubbed On a Short Leash.
Whoa.
And that refers specifically to our head coach, Billy Napier. We will get into that, but I thought it would be apropos, seeing that he is on a short leash now with Gator Nation, with the administration, with the team, and also we're playing a team called the Bulldogs. So, yeah, it's a good title. We are going to be breaking down the Florida Gator game against Samford Bulldogs in the Swamp coming this Saturday. It'll be the second game of the 2024 season. We come in at 0-1. They come in at 0-1. 4 quick segments today, about a half an hour episode. For segment 1 will be a breakdown of Samford. I will let Pops talk a little bit in this episode. Segment 2 will be the Gators breakdown, our own self-scouting. 3 will be just a snippet of the keys to the game, which you should find amusing. Oh. And then 4, we will go over our over-unders and our final predictions for the matchup. So, Pops,
can we get a couple of those right?
Huh?
Can we get a couple of those right this week?
Let's see if we got a couple of them right today. We didn't do well. Surprisingly better than we thought as I went back, but we will get into that later in the episode. Right. I am going to let you start off with segment 1, the breakdown of the Samford Bulldogs. Go ahead, Pops.
Well, let me talk a little bit about Samford, the university itself. Okay. A little bit about it. Okay, it's been around since 1841, long time. It was first known as Howard College, and then back in '66 they changed the name. It's a private university. It's 5,800 students, Baptist. They're actually right now in Homewood, Alabama, which is about 5 miles from downtown Birmingham. So they're right there in the in the middle of the state right there. Is that the middle of the state? Nah, maybe not.
It may or may not be.
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway,
I did not major in geography.
Yeah, so. Well, all right. So here's the deal. Their history, a little bit about their history. They do have alumni. They have 2 alumni Supreme Court members during their history. Really? Yes. They also have 2 coaches that were alumni that won national titles.
I know who they are.
Okay, so can you name one first?
I'm going to say Bobby Bowden.
That is correct, sir. Can you name the second one?
I'm going to say Jimbo Fisher.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, I did some research on my end today. Yeah,
I like it. Okay, they also have a couple of interesting alumni. This is a interesting school. One guy that I'm going to talk about, his name is Jimmy Rain. Do you have any idea who Jimmy Rain is?
I do not.
Well, if I said Great Southern Wood, would that mean anything to you?
No.
Yellowwood, Yellow. The guy who always did the commercials.
Okay. He
is the founder of the company. It's the pressure seated wood that he calls Yellow. Yeah. Anyway, he's an alumni. He's kind of semi-retired right now. He's worth let's see, $1 billion. Not too bad.
Okay.
And the second guy I want to talk about who's an alumni, his name is Donald Bubba Cathy. You have an idea who he is?
Well, no, sir.
If I said his father's name was Truett Cathy, does that mean anything?
I'm lost right now. I'm lost.
Okay.
Are we talking about?
Do you like Chick-fil-A?
Ooh.
So, the founder, Truett Cathy, who passed away a few years ago, he founded Chick-fil-A. His son, Donald, which is nicknamed Bubba, he is now a VP. His brother, Dan, is the CEO, and they run Chick-fil-A. Old Bubba, who went as an alumni of Samford, is worth a little bit over $10 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a little history on Samford.
Somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
So is that your breakdown on Samford, or you want to say anything else?
That's a breakdown of the university.
All right. Okay. Well, my breakdown.
Let me go a little farther here. My breakdown would be, they played a team last week West Georgia. Okay? Now, West Georgia this year became eligible for Division One. So they're a
Yeah.
Division One school. So the very first game they play Samford and they win.
Yeah.
So not good for Samford.
Yeah, I mean West. Yeah, West. What is it? Who did they play?
West Georgia.
West Georgia's first ever Division One victory was over Samford.
That is
So
correct, sir. And
let's.
West Virginia's quarterback, his name is David Wadner. Yeah, he's an Ole Miss grad transfer.
Let's just say that will be the only, hopefully, the only reference to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin in this episode. We might hear his name a lot more in the coming weeks, but let's just leave it right there. Let me give you my little breakdown of Samford. In 2023, they were 6-5, 4-4 in conference. Their head coach is entering his 10th year, Chris Hatcher. In his first 9 years, his teams have averaged 34 points a game, and they have, quote unquote, what is called an air raid offense. Kind of like Texas Tech and the late, great Mike Leach, I believe, started the
Yes.
air raid.
Yes.
Or was part of the air raid. On defense, they have changed this year to pretty much a 4-down front as opposed to last year where they had more of a 3-down front. And I guess they dropped into coverage more. They have a very elusive and exciting quarterback in Quincy Crittenden.
Yeah, that's close
In the
enough.
first game, huh?
That's close enough.
Okay. in the first game against West Georgia, he threw for 302 yards passing with 2 touchdowns, and he ran for 95 yards
And a
two more
touchdown.
and 2 more touchdowns. He's 5'11", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So kind of like not a big guy, but he's going to be probably quick, probably fast, probably very elusive. They had 465 total yards in week 1. They have a wide receiver named Brendan Jenkins, who was the 2023 Southern Conference Freshman of the Year. Samford plays in the Southern Conference, also called the SoCon. They play at Bobby Bowden Field at Pete Hanna Stadium. Their capacity there is only 6,700 people. The last time they played in the Swamp was recently. That was in 2021.
Yeah. Can you tell me? We'll go ahead and tell the score.
Gators won that game in 2021. The Gators put up 70 points, but the headline from that game was that Samford put up 52 points on the Gators, including 42 in the first half.
Yeah, 42-35 Samford in the first half. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who the quarterback for the Florida Gators was in that game?
This was 3 years ago. I should know. Was it Kyle Trask?
No, sir.
Emory Jones?
That is correct, sir. Emory Jones threw for 464 yards and 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also ran the ball 10 times for 86 yards and 1 touchdown.
I would have liked to see that kind of production against Division I teams. Emory, you were a Gator, always a Gator. We appreciate what you did, but
let me just give you the top 5 receivers in that game. Okay? Kmore Gamble, Justin Shorter, Malik Davis, Xavier Henderson, and Noquan Wright. But
okay,
that was our receivers.
Yeah, those.
And who was our head coach?
Our head coach was Mullen.
Yeah, he was pretty happy about that winning that game, wasn't he?
Yeah, there were clips of him dancing in the locker room after giving up 52 points at home to Samford.
Yeah.
And he later said, every win is big, every win is hard. Could you imagine Nick Saban dancing with his team in the Alabama locker room after a game in which they gave a Division I AA FCS, whatever you want to call them, team 52 points at home? Anyway, we digress. Samford comes in. I don't think they were as good this year as they were that year. And I do look for them to run and gun. I do look for them running the option here and there. Their quarterback can obviously throw and run. So it'll be interesting to see if we have a defensive game plan for that. Are we going to have a spy on this guy at all times? Remains to be seen.
Well, if we can't control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, it's going to be a very, very long season.
Yes, we should be able to push them around. I looked for recruiting of Samford. I wanted to compare our mostly 3, 4, and a little bit of 5-star roster with what kind of stars they have. I couldn't find it on Rivals. So they probably have a couple 2-star, maybe 3-star guys, but we should be able to push them all over the field on both sides of the ball. So let's see what happens. Let's move into Florida. I'm going to let you start with Florida. What do you want to see out of the Florida Gators, and how do we look heading into this game?
Well, I mean, lots of controversy. I mean, the media boards, the social media, everything has gone crazy all week long. Okay.
Negative.
Listen, yeah, negative. Listen, they're not gonna fire this guy right now. Everybody should stop worrying about who is going to be the next coach. I don't want to go there. And there's ridiculous amounts of people that talk about, oh, we're going to get this guy. No, nobody wants to come right now. Let's just play out what we got and see what happens. This guy is fighting for his coaching life right now. Not only Florida, but his coaching life. I mean, this is it. I expect us to be so tuned in to what we have to do that we should be able to roll over this team. Now, not the same kind of quality players, like you just said, that we have, okay? They do have a former SEC quarterback, so I'll give them, and I'm sorry, they don't. The Georgia, that's what I was thinking was Georgia. But anyway, they have enough players to make it what they would say be competitive. Anytime a team like that comes in to their swamp, okay, it should be a mismatch. It should be a mismatch. But so far, there's nothing that tells me right now that we can really blow this team out. I mean, seriously, I have to see some results. I need to be able to see, well, we're going to have a new quarterback, and he's a freshman, highly touted, #1 quarterback last year coming in. So here it is. Here's your shot, okay? You're not playing against Georgia. You're not playing against LSU. You're not playing against Texas. You're playing against Samford. Get your head straight and do what you can do, and we go from there. I expect two lines, both offensive and defensive line, to dominate. I expect our receivers to run their routes and get the damn ball. I want our defense. I said this the last podcast. I'm tired of zones because we don't know what the hell we're doing. But if they do go to zone, I don't want to be beat. And I still don't want to be beat long like we were last week. Those are my keys.
Well, a few things on that. Very disappointing opening week. Even more disappointing being on social media and seeing all of us, tons of people asking for him to be fired. And then we have no idea what a coaching search is like. Who would be interested? It's not even worth talking about at this point because he's still our head coach. Now,
Right.
I have titled this episode On a Short Leash because I believe he is now game to game. It cannot be ignored how upset Gator Nation is. It also can't be ignored that we get upset very easily. And Dan Mullen left with a record of 34-15, I believe. We couldn't wait to get rid of that guy. And this guy is now 11-15. He's lost more games in 3 years than Spurrier lost in 12 or whatever it was. So I do believe he's on a short leash, but he's still our head coach. He still assembled this roster, which I thought played under what they could do. They were coached. They were not coached very well. They weren't coached up, but they also didn't play to their potential in week one. Played a very tough game against a very good team in Miami. I do think in the back of my head, it's one of those games where I immediately thought, I think Samford's in for a long day because our entire team has got to be very upset with how they played, how they were coached, how they started the season against a rival at home, 8 months of pub leading into the game. So I do feel like we are going to come out with a ton of energy. I do see us being more effective and efficient in what we do. Of course, it's against a lesser opponent, so that makes it easier. But I don't want to see training wheels on DJ Lagway. I want to see option. I want to see bombs. I want to see crossing routes. I do want to see a couple trick plays. I want to see it all. On defense, I want to see us very aggressive. I want to see us attacking them. We should be able to win. If we go 4 guys down, we should be able to win 2 of those matchups every single play. So I want to see that.
I want to see one thing. I forgot to mention this. I want to see emotion. I want to see these guys with emotion. I want them to be fired up, not just in the huddle before the game. I want to see them. I want to see emotion during the game. Okay, I didn't see any of that last week against Miami. Nothing.
I saw very little. Of it.
I mean, we're a reflection of the coach. The players are a reflection of the coach. I get that part, but they got to get outside of that right now and show some damn emotion and really pump each other up because we're in the crosshairs right now of a tough schedule coming straight at us, okay? If we don't have our stuff together right now and put everything that we have, just like you said, don't hold anything back. We got nothing to hold back. Double reverses, single reverses, trick plays, flea flickers. I don't care what the hell you do. Give me something.
Listen, there's plenty of people out there and fans out there, and possibly rightfully so, saying this is a game we don't need that stuff. We should be able to we should be able to run against a team like this and what we have currently. We should be able to run the ball 60 straight times and win the game 35-10. Now, we're not going to do that because we have a lot to work on all facets of offense and defense. So we really shouldn't need trick plays. However, I think we should run a few just so other teams have something to look at. I read in several places that the Miami defensive coordinator said when scouting this team, I looked at 5 or 7 plays they ran in every single game last year, and well, go figure. They ran them all those plays in the game we played against them. And so there needs to be creativity, if for nothing else, to throw future teams some film they have to account for, which we may or may not call in their game. But from a fan standpoint,
that's my point. Yeah, that's my point too.
Yeah, from a fan standpoint, I do think we need to throw in some wrinkles. We should be able to dominate them just playing vanilla, but I don't want to see vanilla. I want to see us all Pistons go, and we're week to week right now, Billy. I do not think they're going to lose this game. I think the chances are very minimal that we lose this game, even given the first 2 years and 1 game of what looks like a joke, a dumpster fire of a program. I think we are going to blow them out. If somehow we lose this game, he will be gone on Monday, and we'll talk about it then.
Listen, the bottom line is, okay, we need to be as good as we can be, like we're playing against Georgia, okay? Just like we're playing against Georgia. I mean, there's nothing to hold back anymore. I mean, this is what it is, okay? Right. We made the bed. Now we got to sleep in it.
Yeah.
The thing is, we need to show everything we got. I don't care anymore about this is just Samford. We're in a lose-lose situation, by the way, with this game. If we don't score 50 points, they're going to say, see, you're not as good as you think you are. And if we do score over 50 points, well, of course, you should have scored over 50. We can't win either way with this thing.
Final thoughts on the Florida breakdown. I want to see Montrell Johnson with the ball in his hands a little bit more. After he scored the 71-yard touchdown, he got the ball very few times after that. Next, I want to see Mr. Wilson, Trey Wilson, not just have 7 screen plays at the line of scrimmage. I want to see him running a couple slants. I want to see him maybe run a go route. I want to see Aiden Mizell involved in the game. I also want to see Arliss Boardingham, the tight
Yes,
end,
sir. I want my
involved in the
tight end
game.
in the game. I want him playing and
Yeah,
catching the damn ball.
and let's move on to quickly. I'm not. Like usual. I'm probably not even going to let you talk in this segment.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Our segment 3, which is 3 keys to the game. I'm going to make this very simple, Pops. Are you ready?
Can I take a nap now or?
No, it's going to be too quick for you to take a nap. But
All
nice
right.
try. Number 1, score more points than Samford when the clock hits 0-0-0. That's key number 1.
There you go.
We need a win.
Yeah.
Key number 2, play better offense this game than we did in the last game. Key number 3, play better defense this game than we did last game. I would like to see some improvement on special teams as well, but let's just start with those 3. Let's score more points than they do. Let's play better offense and defense than we did in game 1.
I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah, those are the obvious keys to the game. I have dumbed it down as much as I can for Billy Napier and his staff of 7,000. Play better.
Let me just add to that a little bit.
Sure.
I'm going to throw some teams out here, okay? Alabama State, Fordham, VMI, East Tennessee State, Mercer, Citadel, Wofford, Tennessee Tech, Chattanooga, Western Carolina.
I'm going to go with teams that can all compete with our current team right now for $1,000, Ken.
You'd be wrong, sir.
What are you going to say?
Those are teams on Samford's schedule this year. All those teams play Samford. Was there anybody in there that scared you?
No.
Enough said.
So you're just saying they play nobody all year. This is their Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is they don't play anybody like what we play. Those are the teams they play. If we can't blow this team out, okay, then we should be playing those teams instead of the SEC teams.
I guess. I kind of see where you're going there.
I'm down right now. I try to stay positive. I try to really stay positive. I'm a Gator. But here's the thing. I need him to show me something. I need this coach to show me something.
I don't think it's a lose-lose. I think if we're going to win the game. When we win the game, there will be some positivity there. If we win like 24-20, of course the fringe lunatics, including yourself and probably me, will be upset with that victory. But a win is a win. We need to start somewhere. Unfortunately, that's the bar that this guy has set. So let's get a win first.
I mean, I just showed you the teams that they got to play. I mean,
yeah, but what does that have to do with them playing us? I'm saying that if they look at their schedule of those Division II schools and they see us, they're going to give us our best shot because this is their Super Bowl this year.
What I'm trying to point out is there's not one of those teams that we should lose to. Not one. 0. Okay?
Well, right. But I'm saying it would make more sense if you said that they had lost to all those teams last year.
Nah.
They're a Division II team. They have good talent for their division, but we should easily win this game. Period.
I agree.
Okay, let's go to the over-unders. The final segment, the Samford, Florida over-unders. Let's go. Samford QB Crittenton had, what did he have last week? Close to 400 yards all-purpose?
Yeah.
Samford QB, 300 yards all-purpose against Florida, over-under.
I'll go over because I have no confidence right now.
I have the under. He's not going to get 300 all-purpose yards.
All right.
Samford wide receiver Jenkins, who last week had 4 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. He is the returning freshman of the year of the conference. He is their main weapon other than their quarterback.
Yeah.
Samford wide receiver Jenkins, over under 6.5 catches.
Over.
Yeah, I got the over in that as well, primarily because I think we will be and should be winning the whole game, and they will probably be throwing a lot, so he will probably have 7 or 8 catches. I got the over as well. DJ Lagway, the first start for the much hyped 5-star recruit quarterback out of Texas. His first start as a Gator, 300 yards, all purpose, over or under?
Over.
I have over as well. I don't think we're going to hold back. I think we're going to keep, if we're up, say 35-10 at half or something like that, I think he will continue to play him in the third quarter. If we're up huge going into the fourth, we'll probably see some of Clay Millen, I think, is our third string or second string for this game. I don't think Graham is going to dress for this game. I hope he doesn't dress. I hope he gets back to health soon and back in uniform. So get well soon, Graham. Trey Wilson, over under 1.5 touchdowns in the game this week. Trey Wilson.
Over.
I got over as well. I think we get him involved. He's probably, other than Montrell and DJ himself, probably our most dangerous weapon on the offensive side of the ball. Gators points this week against Samford, 38.5. Now, hold on one second. I still can't find a line on the game. I still can't find an over-under on the game. I think the odds makers are still trying to figure out who we are, how good DJ can be, how it's going to translate against Samford. But Gators points this game, 38.5, over-under.
Over.
I got the over as well. We are once again bullish on the Gators. That did not work out well in week 1, but this is a different team.
Well, the good news is that most people won't be able to watch them because we're on ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus only.
And SEC Plus. So nobody's going to really watch us unless people like they're Gator fans.
The Samford Bulldog points, 19.5, over under.
Unless the defense has shown me nothing, I'll say over.
Okay, you're saying over. I am saying a rebirth of our defense of the Spurrier era, maybe the Urban Meyer era, even the Muschamp era. I'm saying under. I'm saying the Bulldogs score under 19.5 points. Announced crowd. Now, we had a sellout in week 1. I think they announced it to be 92,000 plus. Huge amounts of negativity on the Gators all over the place. National media, social media, probably local media if I were to guess. The announced crowd this week, will people show up? The announced crowd, 80,000, over or under?
The announced crowd. I'm going to go under.
Pops is going under on the announced crowd of 80,000. I am saying over for one specific reason.
Oh, because of the quarterback. Yeah.
DJ Lagway. Yeah. I almost named this episode
Let me
is Born, but I decided to hold up.
Let me change mine. I forgot about that element. I'll say over.
Pops is saying over on the announced crowd of 80,000, primarily because everyone wants to see the new toy we've got, the man that everyone for sure wanted as their quarterback all around the country, 5-star DJ Lagway's first start. Okay, over under. Lane Kiffin references in the game by the announcers. 2.5. The Lane Kiffin.
Over.
Okay. I have the under for that. I'm hoping they just announce maybe once, maybe twice. Let's just stay focused on the fact we still have a head coach named Billy Napier at the helm. UF trick plays, 1.5, over under.
Under.
I have under as well because I think Napier is just that stubborn. I think Napier will have one trick play in the first half, a flea flicker, maybe a double reverse, which I predict will not work, and he will then throw away all his other trick plays he might have had scheduled for the game. So we both have unders on that.
Yeah.
Billy Napier, and for the final one, there was a rumor going around. I think it's probably false, but it could be true. I wasn't there. I don't know. Billy Napier scuffles with our mascot, Albert or Alberta, before the game, during the game, or after the game. 1.5 over-under scuffles with our mascot.
That would be under. He's not going anywhere near that.
I have the under as well. I don't think it happened. It's a rumor that gained a lot of traction and a lot of traction early.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think there will actually be him shaking the hand of the mascot in some kind of film clip.
No, I don't think so, because then that would reference that it did happen. So he won't even go near it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And my final prediction for the game is I believe the Gators are going to win this game 42-17. I think Lagway will throw close to 300 yards, probably rush for 50, have 4 total touchdowns. DJ Lagway will throw in a rushing touchdown by Montrell Johnson. 42-17. What is your final prediction for the score?
I got 48-21.
48-21. Is that a Gators win or a Samford win?
That would be a Gators win.
All right. So hope still abounds. We are playing a much lesser team this week. It's 1 week at a time, Pops. I am wearing this shirt. I think it's a shirt that you gave to me years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was in either the 90s or the 2000s you gave me this shirt. And I'm hoping that we kind of return to that kind of form of blowing out a lesser opponent, a lot more offense, a lot more creativity, and some nastiness on defense as well. Back to the olden days.
You know, on game day, I always take my flag and put my flag out in front of the house and proudly watch the Gators, play the game. I couldn't wait to get that flag out of there after the Miami. And I usually leave it up there until Sunday when I put my Bears flag out, okay?
Yeah. You can do that this week, but just always remember, and everyone out there, in all kinds of weather, fly that flag, fly it proud. I believe we get in the winning column again this week. And on that note, we're going to close out episode 4, which is on a short leash. That is Pops. I am Mike. This is the Chomp Time Podcast. Go Gators!
Gators!